You know what's terrifying? When the apex predator, the thing at the top of the food chain, suddenly becomes a prey. And that's exactly what's happening right now in the swamps of Florida. Burmese pythons, these massive snakes that have been terrorizing the Everglades for decades, eating everything in sight, are now being found dead. And I'm not talking about dying of old age or disease. I'm talking about being crushed, suffocated, and left mangled in the swamps. Something out there is powerful enough to take down a 20-foot python. Something is hunting the hunters, and nobody saw this coming. Before we dive into this absolutely wild story, let me paint you a picture of what we're dealing with here. The Burmese python problem in Florida isn't new. These snakes aren't native to the area. They came from Southeast Asia, probably released by exotic pet owners who didn't realize their cute little snake would grow into a 15 to 20-foot long monster. And once they got into the Everglades, they found paradise. Warm weather, tons of prey, no natural predators, and endless places to hide in the swamps and marshlands. These pythons have been absolutely devastating the local wildlife. We're talking about a collapse in the mammal population that scientists can barely believe. Raccoons, which used to be everywhere in the Everglades, have declined by over 90% in some areas. Opossums are down by almost 100%. Bobcats, rabbits, foxes, you name it, they've all been decimated by these invasive snakes. The pythons even go after deer, alligators, and wading birds. They're eating machines with no off switch. Florida has tried everything to control these snakes. They hired python hunters, organized competitions with cash prizes, used dogs trained to sniff them out, and even tried tracking snakes with radio transmitters to find breeding grounds. Thousands of pythons have been removed from the Everglades, but it feels like trying to empty the ocean with a bucket. For every python caught, there are dozens more hiding in the swamps. Some experts estimate there could be hundreds of thousands of these snakes out there, maybe even more. So when wildlife officials and python hunters started finding dead pythons with massive injuries, crushed bodies, and signs of being squeezed to death, everyone was shocked. What could possibly be strong enough to kill a Burmese python? These aren't small snakes we're talking about. An adult Burmese python can weigh over 200 pounds and stretch longer than a car. They kill their prey by constriction, wrapping around animals and squeezing until the victim can't breathe anymore. They've got muscles like steel cables and can take down prey much larger than themselves. The first few dead pythons didn't raise too many eyebrows. Snakes die in the wild all the time, right? But then the pattern became impossible to ignore. Python after python was being found with similar injuries. Their bodies showed signs of being crushed with incredible force. Some had broken ribs and spines. Others looked like they'd been in a fight for their lives. And here's the creepy part. Whatever was killing them was winning these battles. Scientists and wildlife experts started investigating, and what they discovered shocked everyone. The killer wasn't some new invasive species or mysterious disease. It wasn't even something from the modern world. The culprit was an ancient predator that's been in Florida longer than humans have walked the earth. The killer was alligators. Now, I know what you're thinking. Alligators and pythons have been living in the Everglades together for years. Why would gators suddenly start hunting pythons now? Well, the answer is both fascinating and a little bit sad. The alligators didn't suddenly develop a taste for python. What actually happened is that the pythons got so successful at eating everything else that they forced the alligators to adapt or starve. Think about it from the alligator's perspective. For millions of years, alligators have been feeding on mammals, birds, turtles, fish, and other reptiles in the Everglades. They are ambush predators, sitting perfectly still in the water and then exploding into action when prey comes close. But as the python population exploded and wiped out most of the mammals, the alligators found themselves competing for the same dwindling food sources. The easy meals were disappearing. So the alligators did what any apex predator does when their food supply is threatened. They adapted. They started viewing the pythons not as competition, but as food. And here's the thing about alligators that makes them perfectly suited to hunt pythons. They have the strongest bite force of any animal in the world. We're talking about over 2,000 pounds of pressure per square inch. That's enough to crush bone like it's a potato chip. When an alligator clamps down on a python, even a massive one, that snake is in serious trouble. The gator's jaws are lined with sharp teeth designed to grip and hold, not to chew. Once they've got a hold of something, they use a technique called the death roll. They spin their entire body rapidly in the water, disorienting their prey and ripping off chunks of flesh. For a python, being caught by an alligator is basically a nightmare scenario. But here's where it gets really interesting. Pythons aren't going down without a fight. Remember, these are constrictors. Their entire strategy for survival is wrapping around threats and squeezing. So when a python realizes it's being attacked by an alligator, it does the only thing it knows how to do. It wraps around the gator and tries to squeeze the life out of it. Wildlife photographers and researchers have captured some of these battles on camera, and they're absolutely incredible to watch. You've got a 20-foot python wrapped around a 10-foot alligator, both animals locked in a struggle that can last for hours. The python is squeezing with everything it's got, trying to suffocate the gator or break its ribs. The alligator is thrashing, rolling, and trying to get its jaws around a vital part of the snake. These aren't quick fights. Both animals are built for endurance. Pythons can maintain constriction pressure for extended periods, and alligators can hold their breath underwater for over an hour if they need to. The battles are brutal, exhausting wars of attrition where the loser doesn't just retreat. The loser dies. And increasingly, the loser is a python. Alligators have several advantages in these confrontations. First, they are fighting in their element. The water is where gators are most powerful and maneuverable. They can use the depth and current to their advantage, dragging the python into deeper water where the snake can't get leverage. Second, alligators have armor. Their thick, scaly skin and bony plates act like natural body armor, making it harder for the python to get a good grip. And third, alligators are patient. They can wait for the python to tire itself out, conserving energy until the perfect moment to strike again. But here's the plot twist that makes this whole story even more fascinating. While alligators are definitely killing pythons, they're not the only thing crushing these snakes to death. Other pythons are doing it too. You see, Burmese pythons are cannibalistic. When food is scarce and competition is high, larger pythons will absolutely eat smaller pythons. And with the mammal population so depleted in the Everglades, the pythons have started turning on each other. It's like something out of a horror movie. The invasive species that destroyed the ecosystem is now destroying itself. Scientists have documented cases where massive pythons, some over 18 feet long, have killed and eaten pythons that were 12 or 15 feet long. These aren't tiny snakes we're talking about. These are enormous reptiles capable of taking down deer, and they are hunting each other. The Everglades have become a battleground where pythons fight pythons, alligators hunt pythons, and a few remaining native predators try to survive in an ecosystem that's been turned completely upside down. There's also evidence that Florida panthers, which are critically endangered big cats native to the region, have started hunting pythons. Panthers are desperate for food because the pythons ate most of their natural prey. So these cats, which normally hunt deer and wild hogs, have been observed stalking and attacking smaller pythons. It's a dangerous strategy because pythons can fight back, but hunger makes animals take risks they normally wouldn't. So what does all this mean for the Everglades? Is this a solution to the python problem? Will nature balance itself out now that alligators and other predators have figured out how to hunt pythons? Well, the honest answer is complicated. On one hand, it's encouraging to see native predators adapting and fighting back against the invasive species. Every python that gets eaten by an alligator is one less snake reproducing and eating native wildlife. The fact that pythons are also eating each other adds another layer of population control that could slow their spread. But on the other hand, the damage is already done. The mammal population in the Everglades has been so thoroughly destroyed that it could take decades for them to recover if they ever do. Even if every python disappeared tomorrow, the ecosystem wouldn't just snap back to normal. Food chains take time to rebuild. Animals need years to reproduce and spread back into areas where they've been wiped out. And here's a really sobering thought. There are still way more pythons than there are alligators capable of hunting them. The gators can only eat so many snakes. They have to rest, digest, and conserve energy just like any animal. They are not going to solve the python problem on their own. At best, they'll create some balance, some pushback that prevents the pythons from expanding even further into Florida. Wildlife officials are still encouraging python removal programs. Hunters are still going out into the swamps with tools and training to capture and euthanize these snakes. The state is still offering prizes and incentives for anyone who can help control the population. But now they are doing it with the knowledge that nature is starting to fight back on its own. It's a team effort between humans and the native predators of Florida. There's something almost poetic about alligators taking down pythons. Alligators have been apex predators in Florida for millions of years. They survived the extinction of the dinosaurs, the ice ages, and countless environmental changes. They've outlasted species after species, adapting to whatever challenges came their way. And now, when faced with an invasive predator that seemed unstoppable, they are proving once again why they survived for so long. They are showing us that nature is more resilient and more adaptable than we sometimes give it credit for. But this story is also a warning. The python invasion happened because humans made mistakes. People bought exotic pets they couldn't care for and released them into the wild. Others lost their snakes during hurricanes and didn't report it. Some may have even released them intentionally, not understanding or not caring about the consequences. And look what happened. An entire ecosystem nearly collapsed. Species that lived in Florida for thousands of years were pushed to the brink of extinction. And now we're watching predators fight predators in a battle that never should have happened. The Everglades python situation is a reminder that every action has consequences. When we introduce species into environments where they don't belong, we're playing with forces we don't fully understand. Ecosystems are incredibly complex. They are made up of thousands of relationships between plants, animals, insects, and microorganisms. When you disrupt one part of that system, the effects ripple outward in ways you can't predict. Right now, in the swamps and marshlands of Florida, an ancient predator is crushing invasive pythons to death. It's brutal. It's violent. It's nature doing what nature does, fighting for balance and survival. But it's also a sign that maybe, just maybe, the Everglades has a fighting chance. The alligators aren't giving up. The panthers aren't giving up. The ecosystem, as damaged as it is still alive and still fighting. This battle between alligators and pythons is going to continue for years, maybe decades. We're watching evolution and adaptation happen in real time. We're seeing what happens when two apex predators compete for the same territory, and the outcome is still uncertain. Will the alligators and other native predators be able to control the python population enough for the ecosystem to recover, or will the pythons continue to dominate, forcing even more species to adapt or disappear? One thing is certain, the Everglades will never be the same as it was before the pythons arrived. That ecosystem is gone. What's emerging now is something different, something shaped by both the invasion and the response to it. It's a new version of the Everglades, one where alligators hunt pythons and pythons hunt each other, where predators fight desperate battles for survival in a landscape that's been forever changed. And maybe there's a lesson in that for all of us. When we damage nature, we can't always fix it or put it back the way it was. But nature doesn't give up. It adapts. It fights. It finds new ways to survive. The alligators crushing pythons to death in Florida are proof of that. They are proof that life finds a way, even when the odds seem impossible. So the next time you hear someone say that an invasive species problem is hopeless, remember the alligators of the Everglades. Remember that nature has been dealing with challenges and adapting to changes for billions of years. We might have created this mess, but that doesn't mean all hope is lost. It just means we need to work with nature, support the native species, and give the ecosystem every chance we can to fight back. The war between alligators and pythons in Florida is far from over. But for the first time in decades, the native predators are winning some battles. And that's something worth paying attention to. That's something that gives us hope that the Everglades, as changed as it may be, will survive and maybe even thrive again someday. If this story amazed you as much as it amazed me, do me a favor and hit that like button. Share this video with your friends and family because this is the kind of nature story that everyone needs to hear. And if you want to see more incredible wildlife stories, mysteries from the natural world, and updates on what's happening in the Everglades, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Trust me, nature is full of surprises, and you won't want to miss what happens next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.